Come in my YouTube channel BSc for Part First Computer Science. Course title Basic of C Programming. आज आपण पाहणार आहोत लॉजिकल Continuum of Program of Programming for C Programming on Linux operating system. First, see, when we are going to discuss the logic continuum of program for programming for C programming on Linux OS. So we are essentially looking at structured pathway for getting a master in C programming and becoming proficient developing software on Linux based OS. So it involves lots of stages, or you can also say that the steps that progress basic to advanced concept, right? So below is a logical continuum. C for learning C programming on a Linux operating system, it can be broken down into phases, which is phase first, introduction to C programming. So here you want to know basic concept of C programming. So what is the concept for C programming? You must know syntax and structure. That means you have to understand the basic syntax for C programming. For example, main functions, variable, statements and operator. You must know information about the data types for exploring primitive data types, which are they? Integer, character, float and double. You must know what are the control structures used in C programming. So these are the mastering conditionals: if, else, switch and the loop. For example, for, while and do while. Functions which are used in C programming. You must know about the declaration function. That means how to declare the function, what is the definition for functions, and calling the function. Arrays and strings. Here you must know about the introduction to arrays, multi-dimensional arrays. That means that these are the types: one dimensional, second dimensional, third dimensional, right? So we can also you can also understand string manipulation. So this is the first phase for introduction to C programming. I would like to repeat again. You must know about the syntax and the structure. Structure काय आहे सी प्रोग्रामिंगचं? प्रोग्रामच्या हेडर फाईलपासून रिटर्न 0 पर्यंत तुम्हाला हे माहीत असणं गरजेचं आहे की व्हॉट इज द बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर फॉर सी प्रोग्रामिंग. दॅट मीन्स द फंक्शन फ्रॉम मेन फंक्शन्स युअर प्रोग्राम विल बी स्टार्ट, राईट. डेटा टाईप्स कोणते वापरायचे आहेत तेही तुम्हाला माहीत असणं गरजेचं आहे. कंट्रोल स्ट्रक्चर्स, functions, arrays and strings. So what are the tools and setup on Linux? So setting up a C development environment in Linux operating system, you have to install GCC GNU compiler collection on your Linux operating system, which configures text editor just like a vim, emacs, vs code, right? So and using makefile. Compiling and debug. To understand the compilation process, GCC command तुम्हाला माहित असणं गरजेचं आहे, and debug tool like GDB. Understanding the Linux shell. So what is the Linux shell, right? So you have to navigate the Linux terminal, right, using basic commands. You must know all the commands regarding to that terminal. That means the some GPU command also you must know. That means the, for example, I will give you example for creation of file, right? That means the file in these are commands which are included in file manipulations. You have to write command also, create a file, delete a file, and writing shell script. So you must know about how to write the shell script in your Linux operating system. So these are all about the first phase. So first one, which is in that introduction to C programming. C programming जर तुम्हाला शिकायचे असेल तर त्याचं बेसिक सिंटॅक्स, त्याचं स्ट्रक्चर तुम्हाला माहीत असणं गरजेचं आहे. त्याच्यामध्ये इन्क्लुडिंग डेटा टाईप्स ही गरजेचं आहे, कंट्रोल स्ट्रक्चर आहे, फंक्शन आहे, ॲरेज अँड स्ट्रिंग्स. आणि हे जे सगळे सेटअप लिनक्सवर असेल तर लिनक्स ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टीममध्ये जर तुम्ही सी प्रोग्रॅमिंग तुम्ही करत आहात तर तुम्हाला GCC कंपायलर इन्स्टॉल केलाच पाहिजे, बरोबर. मग कंपायलिंग कसं करायचं ते माहीत असणं गरजेचं आहे. आणि त्याच्याही पुढे जाऊन तुम्हाला लिनक्स शेल म्हणजे काय हे पण पाहावं लागेल. मग आता त्याचे फेज 2 काय आहे, इंटरमिडिएट सी प्रोग्रॅमिंग. त्याच्यामध्ये पॉइंटर अँड मेमरी मॅनेजमेंट. सो व्हॉट इज पॉइंटर, अंडरस्टँडिंग पॉइंटर कन्सेप्ट्स, डीरेफरन्सिंग, पॉइंटर अरिथमेटिक, and passing pointer to function, right? So here you must know about the dynamic memory allocation also. For using that dynamic memory allocations, you must know the malloc, calloc call, reloc, and free functions. For managing you have dynamic memory. So here also the concept for the memory leak, so which is going to identify and prevents memory leak. Prevents म्हणजे जतन करणं using like a val grid. So struct and file info, file input output structure. You must know about the structures using struct to group related data, and you must know the file handling operation. For example, how to open file, how to close files, how to read. That means the fopen call, fclose, fread, and fwrite functions. And after that you must know about the how to handle these error using error numbers, error, and string error. So to manage these errors in system calls and library functions. So the advanced data structures which are there, so you must know about the linked list, stack, queues, and other data structures. That means how to implement the single and double linked list. And in the case of stack, queue, and other data structure, you must know to how to explore to implement this data structure in C, right? So the searching, you must know about the searching and sorting for the algorithm. So phase 3, Linux specific development. So Linux system programming, in which system calls, process managements, signals. System calls means understanding how to make system calls by open function, read, write, and close, and how to management for the process. So working with process using fork functions, execution, wait, and exit. So understanding the process IDs and child processes and process synchronization, right? So process ID and the child process and process synchronization, these are very important in process managements. You must know about the signals. That means now we are going to handling these signals by using the SIGINT, term, and signal handlers using signal functions and SIG action, right? So the interprocess communication, that means the IPC, which involves the pipes. Pipe means using these unnamed pipes functions for communication between two processes. When you are going to communicate with or communicate with two processes, you have to use the functions pipe, name pipe. So that means the FIFO, first in first outs. So using this name pipe for interprocess communication. So here also the message queues, semaphores, and shared memory. So all these advanced IPC mechanism, we share the memory for more advanced, right? So the multi-threading and concurrency, here you must know about the threading. So understanding multi-threading, which you by using POSIX threads, that's mean the pthread library, which creates the thread concurrency issues. So you must know learning about the race conditions and deadlock, that means how to prevent them, right? So the thread safety, so you must ensure thread safety and avoid common pitfalls. So this is about the phase 3, and where in the case of phase 4, which includes the topic advanced topics in C on Linux, when you are going to run the program on Linux system. So here will be the advanced technique for the network programming, in which they include the socket programming, client server model, network protocols. Then I would like to explain one by one. As in the case of network programming, there will be the first point, the socket programming, which you have to understand, or you must understand the knowledge about the TCP/IP. That means what is TCP/IP and UDP sockets, which are used in network programming in C. You can also you must know about the client server model. So writing server and client applications using that sockets, that means these are the functions: socket, bind, listen, accept, connect, and send. And which are the network protocols used in the networking, as in the case of C programming. So learning about the HTTP, FTP, and other common protocols which will be used in your networking. As in the case of kernel programming, so what are the kernel modules? See, so the writing simple kernel modules for Linux, you must understanding the kernel module life cycle. If you want to know about the kernel modules, you must understand the kernel module life cycle, right? At interacting with hardware, because kernel is directly interacted with hardware, right? So it is after that it will user only interact with shell. So that's why, so the kernel is the main heart of your Linux operating system, which take an input from the shell and gives some output to the user, right? So the system internals, what are the system internals? So here we have to know how the Linux kernel works, how it's possible to give output, because by using shell it will access the input from the user, right? So that means it contains the process scheduling, memory management, and file system also. So in the case of advanced topic in networking, so you must know about the device driver. So which are they? So the writing simple device drivers and interacting with hardware devices. So then after that, optimizations and performance. So profiling, for example, using a tool like GPROF, PRF, or Valgrind to profile, right? So the code optimization, here is the code optimization means it will be the algorithm for speed and memory uses. Here we are going to use the algorithm, right? So and understanding compiler optimization flags, for example -2, -3. Phase 5, real world applications and best practices, right? So here we are going to use the libraries and frameworks, which includes the standard C library, LIBC, mastering the C standard library. That means you must know about how to use it future. Then third party libraries, so integrating libraries just like HTTP request, libSSL for encryption. After that, software design and architectures, which are they? So in that software design, you must know about the design patterns, right? So when you are going to apply these design patterns like singleton, factory, and observatory in C. You can also you must know about the code review, right? So and collaborations, so participating in code reviews using version control system like GIT and collaborating with other developer. After that, you have to test unit testings. You must know about the unit testing and debug, test driven development, in that you must know. So writing unit test for your C code, debug techniques, which are they? So using advanced debug tools like GDB, Stress, and LTrace for troubleshooting and optimize your C program, right? So the open source contributions, which are they? So the contribution to Linux kernel or projects. So you must understand how to contribute to open source projects and building large scale applications. That means so writing and maintaining large applications which are interacted with system resources. So these are all about the logical continuum of programming for C on Linux operating system. So which is a phase first, introduction to C, second intermediate C programming, third Linux specific development in C, advanced topic in C when you are launching on this Linux OS. 5, you have to know about the real world applications and best practices. So thank you so much for joining my lecture. Thank you so much.